Next endogenous classification of dermatitis is pityriasis alba. Pityriasis alba is a skin condition, a type of dermatitis commonly seen in children and young adults. And its characteristics is dry, fine-scaled, pale patches on the face. It is self-limiting and usually only requires use of moisturizing creams. This picture explains there is dry and pale patches on the skin, right? So this is known as the pityriasis alba and it can be easily treated with a moisturizing cream. Next one, discoid eczema or discoid dermatitis. It's an inflammation of the skin. A rash appears that looks like red coined or disc-shaped appearance or plaques. Okay, so this type of eczema is known as the discoid eczema. And it extremely itchy and uncomfortable to the patient. And it's also known as nummular dermatitis or nummular eczema. And the nummulus means coin. Okay. This picture also it indicates the discoid eczema. Discoid means disc-shaped or coin-shaped dermatitis. Main characteristics is itching. Okay, severe itching will be present for this patient. Next type is hand eczema. The hand eczema, it is the otherwise known as the hand dermatitis, and it is most commonly occurs due to genetic history and the history with allergens or contact with an irritants. Okay, most of the people, they are working in cleaning area or catering services or hairdressers or healthcare professionals or mechanical workers. Okay, all they are risk for this hand eczema. Those who are continuously contact with irritants, they are in the risk of hand eczema. Most of the time, the patient will have redness, itching, pain, dryness, then cracks will be there, blisters will be there. And in this case, hand washing is not that much effective. Okay, use always a cotton gloves and sanitize the hand without water. Okay, and the food like potatoes, onion, peppers, all these items, acidic fruits can be limited. Okay. Then wash materials, dish soap, all this contact can be restricted here. And sometimes there will be blisters, vesicles, cracks will be present in the hand. So it's better to avoid allergens and protect the hands with any combination of gloves with neoprene or vinyl products. Okay. Otherwise you can write use cotton gloves. Okay, whatever it is. Then hand cleanser, that is better, and moisturizer also will be effective for this patient, and the washing should be limited. Okay, these all are the protective measures can be do for this patient. Next one is steatotic eczema. So steatotic eczema, also called xerotic eczema. It's a form of eczema that occurs when the skin becomes abnormally dry. Itchy and cracked skin will be present for this patient. It is often found in elderly people. and it's uncommon in the 20s. Okay, so usually elder people will be affected with this condition. Most of the time, when the elderly people is admitted or old age people is admitted in the hospitals, you can see this type of leg or this type of dry skin in the patient. Okay, and it's a form of eczema, and it's most commonly, the most common feature is it's a dry skin, extremely dry skin. That's why it is known as the cirrhotic eczema. Okay, abnormally dry and itchy skin, and it's easy to crack. And next one is gravitational eczema. So gravitational eczema is the skin inflammation in the lower legs caused by fluid buildup. So gravitational eczema, otherwise known as stasis dermatitis. It is already explained. It is caused by a fluid buildup in the body, and it can be seen in different conditions such as cardiovascular disease. Okay, then varicose veins, then circulation disorders. All these conditions we may see this gravitational eczema. Next category of endogenous dermatitis is lichen simplex chronicus, so otherwise known as LSC. It's a localized, well circumscribed area of thickened skin. So lichenification you can see in this picture. Okay, the infected area, there is lichenification or thickened area is present due to the continuous irritation or rubbing, repeated rubbing or itching, scratching in the skin, that leads to the thickened skin or lichenification. That's why it is known as the lichen simplex chronicus. It can occur on normal skin of individuals with atopic, seborrheic, contact, then psoriatic patients. So it can be observed in atopic dermatitis, seborrheic dermatitis, contact dermatitis, also in case of psoriasis. And this is the another form of lichen simplex chronicus. Again you can see the thickened area of the skin. Okay, so that is known as the lichenification. Due to repeated irritation, the skin structure may be vary. Next one is prurigo nodularis or prurigo nodularis. It's a skin disease that cause hard itchy lumps or nodules to form on the skins. Okay, mostly there will be hard itchy nodules will be formed in the skin. The itching pruritus can be intense. Okay, there will be intense itching for the patient, causing people to scratch themselves to that point, and that leads to bleed, and the patient will have the severe pain, and scratching causes more development of skin lesions, and it may spread. Okay, so that is the prurigo nodularis. So here we can see the nodules formation in the skin all over the body. It can be occur, and there will be severe itching. That itching cause the bleeding of the nodules, and that leads to the spread. Okay, and these lesions may increase. That area, the excessive lesions can be occur, or nodules will be enlarged in the prurigo nodularis. Next dermatitis is the seborrheic dermatitis. So seborrheic dermatitis is a problem in which scaly patches, red skin, and stubborn dandruff from an oily areas of the body such as scalp, face, upper chest and back. Actually, seborrheic dermatitis is a chronic recurrent skin inflammation affect sebaceous gland rich areas of skin. and that cause scaling. And what to say, this seborrheic dermatitis, it is divided in different forms. That is, mild form is there, and severe form is there. This mild form is known as the dandruff, otherwise known as pityriasis sicca. Okay, dandruff, otherwise known as pityriasis sicca, and it is the mild form of seborrheic dermatitis. And there will be scaling will be there. A small scale can be observed when you are observing the hair, and it will not cause any inflammations. So that's why it is known as the mild form of seborrheic dermatitis. Next one is the cradle camp. That is, especially in small infants, you can see a yellowish discoloration in their scalp. Okay, so these all are, and this will be not that much problematic to the infant. After some time, it will be healed by itself. Okay, so usually it affects the infants. And this seborrheic dermatitis, it will be occur due to seasonal changes and emotional stress related to medications and related to infections, fungal infections, especially the yeast infections or candidial infections. There may be chance for the dermatitis, seborrheic dermatitis. Regarding the management of seborrheic dermatitis, firstly we have to remove crust and apply salicylic acid, olive oil or coal tar shampoo. Then second line of treatment is ketoconazole 2% shampoo. And next one, for severe itching, we can give the potent steroid dexamethasone or hydrocortisone. Okay, any steroid drugs. Okay, so that is the main treatment modalities we are used for the seborrheic dermatitis. Till now we have discussed regarding the endogenous dermatitis. Now we are moving to discuss regarding the exogenous dermatitis, that is the contact dermatitis or the irritant dermatitis. Okay, so we can see the definition of contact dermatitis. The definition: contact dermatitis is a term for skin reaction or dermatitis resulting from exposure to allergens, that is known as the allergic contact dermatitis, or the irritants. So that is known as the irritant contact dermatitis, or the phototoxic dermatitis occurs when the allergens or irritant is activated by sunlight. So contact dermatitis, it is the inflammation of the dermis or the epidermal layer that is mainly due to allergens, irritants or the phototoxic materials. Phototoxic materials, those who are active in the presence of sunlight. We can see the causes of contact dermatitis. So the causes include perfumes or fragrances, cosmetic products, jewelry, then soap and detergents, rubber boots or synthetic materials, or poison ivy or poisonous leaf or poisonous plants. Okay, allergens. Then steroid creams. Okay, when we are exposed to these type of materials or allergens or irritants, there may be inflammatory reactions in our body, that is known as the contact dermatitis. Okay, so these all are the causes of the contact dermatitis. Next one is the management of contact dermatitis. Be aware of possible irritants or allergens that may trigger contact dermatitis. If contact is made with irritant or allergen, wash and rinse skin as soon as possible. Wear protective gloves when using possible irritants, especially household cleaners or chemicals. Use hypoallergic soaps or skin care products when possible. Keep skin moisturized. Learn to recognize poison ivy and oak. Okay, so when we are touching these plants, there may be continuous irritant, so it should be avoided. As a medical management, we can give salicylic acid, olive oil, coal tar shampoo in order to remove crust. Then ketoconazole 2% shampoo. That is the second line of treatment. If it is failed, we can give the selenium sulfate shampoo, that is 2.5%. Then zinc pyridine shampoo can be given. Then in case of severe itching, steroids can be given. For example, betamethasone, hydrocortisone, etc. Okay. So these all are the treatment modalities we are giving for the contact dermatitis. Usually contact dermatitis is self-limiting. So if we are taking the precautions, it will be subside. And then another method or another way to manage contact dermatitis is the use of emollients and moisturizers. And it is not effective, then only we will go to the medical management such as ketoconazole or the steroids therapy. Okay, so we are completing the dermatitis here.